Let's make something out of nothing. Today we got some pepper steak. If you love comfort food, this recipe is for you. It only takes like 30 minutes to make, but the flavor tastes like it's been cooking all day. I'm telling y'all, you gotta be careful with this one. First, let's make a foolproof white rice. Wash that dirty rice, add it to a pot, throw in some water, bring it to a boil, then allow it to simmer 20 minutes tops, and you're gonna have the perfect white rice. Now grab some steak. It doesn't even matter what kind. Just make sure you cut it real thin, something like this. Now to the steak, we're gonna add in some adobo. Then we're gonna hit it with some onion powder. After that, throw in some ground cumin, hit it with a little black pepper, some of that Worcestershire sauce, and some cornstarch. Mix everything up really good. You can let it marinate for a little bit if you want, but I just cooked them right away. To a pan, add in some oil, get it really hot, add in your steak strips. You want to sear those for a couple minutes and then set those to the side. Now to the same pan, we're going to add in some bell peppers, cook those up a bit, then grab your steak strips, add those back into the pan, top everything off with chicken broth. Then you're going to grab a lid, let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's it. All right, y'all.
If you want to mix it up for dinner this week, this sesame chicken is such a winner and so much better than takeout. The crispy chicken coated in a sweet and tangy sesame sauce is a perfect weeknight meal. Start by cutting your chicken breast into half-inch pieces, then marinating for an hour or up to overnight to get that chicken bursting with flavor. Once it's marinated, make your seasoned dredge by mixing together white pepper, salt, and baking powder with equal parts flour and cornstarch. Add a bit of the sauce to create extra texture, then dredge your chicken well until it looks like this and let them rest. Premix your sauce by combining soy sauce, a bit of ketchup along with high-quality chicken stock, honey, brown sugar, and sesame oil. First fry your chicken at 350 for 2 to 3 minutes and remove. Double fry them again for 1 to 2 minutes, which is going to get them super crisp and allow them to hold up in the sauce. Next, over high heat, fry garlic and ginger for a few seconds followed by your sauce. Cook for 30 seconds and add your cornstarch slurry and vinegar and continue cooking until the sauce is thickened. Add your chicken, toss with sesame seeds and finish with sesame oil, and enjoy.
So I was craving beef and broccoli, but I didn't want to order takeout, so I decided to make my own at home. Now, this is skirt steak, and you want to always slice against the grain like that. You can also use flank steak. I marinated my steak with soy sauce, sesame oil, a little bit of cornstarch, and salt and pepper. Look at the flick of the wrist. Nah, I was struggling to do that for real. I added my steak to a very smoking hot pan with sesame oil. You can see how immediately it started to brown. Look at that. And it's juicy. For the sauce, I mixed in chicken broth with brown sugar, dark soy sauce, and regular soy sauce. Then I hit it with some oyster sauce and a dash of that toasted sesame oil. Then I hit it with some white peppers, some honey, ginger, and garlic paste. Then I finished it off with a cornstarch slurry. This is rice cooking wine, add that too. I added my sauce to a pan, let it come to a simmer, and I put my beef and broccoli back in. I dressed it up in a bowl all pretty like this, and I added some sesame seeds. You know I had to cook it up.
Today, baby, shrimp and chicken hibachi and rice. Ew. Can y'all hear my earrings? Because if I can hear them while I edit, it's gonna be the last time I wear them. Let's get started. So I'm gonna start with my protein because I want it to marinate for a bit. So I have 3 chicken thighs that I've diced up. You can use breast meat or chicken tenders if you like. Adding in about a half a teaspoon of baking soda just for them to tenderize. A little ground ginger, about a clove of fresh garlic, a dash or 2 of white pepper, black pepper, about a tablespoon of soy sauce, about a tablespoon of oyster sauce, a tablespoon of that melanin sugar, a little avocado oil to bind it together. Here I have a pound of shrimp and a little avocado oil. I know that cuisine police are gonna come after me, but I'm adding this. I don't care. I'm from Maryland. Low sodium Old Bay, and we'll add our soy sauce when it cooks. For our veggies, I have yellow squash, zucchini, and an onion. Now this is the way that I make like the Japanese American hibachi. I'm gonna cut my onion into chunks, not necessarily small dice. So it'll kind of look like that, like chunks. It'll separate as it cooks. And now it's time to sweat. I typically walk my Asian food. You ask for hibachi and this is as close as it's gonna come. Now the hibachi restaurants that I've been to, they normally do rice, veggies, and then protein. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add my butter. Put that other butter. A little avocado oil. And here I have about 1.5 cups of cooked rice, about 2 days old. Chocolate and green onions, so I'm gonna use the whites of these onions and add it in. I'm gonna crack in 1 egg on the side, add some garlic powder, a dusting of white pepper, tiny pinch of salt, black pepper, and also about 2 cloves of garlic. We're coming along, we're coming along. I'm gonna add in my soy sauce. I got it from my local Asian market. I'll also add in a little bit of dark soy sauce. Surprisingly, this has a little bit less sodium than regular soy sauce. I want to get it a little bit more melanated. Next up, our veggies. That butter and udder. Mix everything in the butter a little bit. Add in about 2 cloves of garlic. This is really all the seasoning I'm going to use besides the soy sauce. Just flatten the veggies out and just cook to your desired tenderness. Now I'm going to add our soy sauce. And I'm going to mix. Ooh, heavy. Ooh. Leave it on long enough so the soy sauce can caramelize your veggies. Next up will be our protein. Do a little wet water in between each one. Add a little bit of oil. We're gonna flatten it out. Now just leave it alone for roughly about 5 minutes so it can build a nice little cup. Now all it needs is about another 2 minutes. Next up is our shrimp. Once again, that other shrimp. And all they need is about 1.5 minutes on each side. If you want to know what temperature I've been cooking at, I have no idea. I've had this thing for so long, the temperature range is gone. Add our soy sauce. Allow it to caramelize a bit. So who's coming over? Just under soul food and comfort food, Asian cuisine is my absolute favorite. Get a little bit of everything. And then a little hot chili oil. You already know, first bite for you. Honey, bring out a church shout. I can't even finish it before I even tell you. This meal is so flavorful. Oh my gosh. I need a minute, baby. I'm shrimp. I'm gonna bite some veggies. So good. I mean, this whole entire dish, I kid you not, is so delicious. When a dish turns out better than what you thought it would, if you haven't used it before, try a little bit of white pepper. Be very light-handed with it because it is very strong. No matter how big your dish is, maybe start out with about 1/4 teaspoon. It's very strong. You gotta give it a try. It is so good.
This looks so good. Better than takeout General So chicken. The chicken is so tender. Cut chicken into bite-sized pieces. Add in soy sauce, salt and pepper, minced garlic, rice flour, cornstarch, egg, soda water. Mix together. Set it aside for 20 minutes. For the sauce, we're gonna add in soy sauce, honey, minced garlic, ginger, rice vinegar, hoisin sauce. Like it's spicy, a little bit of crushed red pepper. Mix together. Fry the chicken for 6 to 7 minutes until crispy and golden brown. Optional, but highly recommended. Double fry for the extra crispiness. Drizzle in the sauce, cornstarch and water mixture. Mix together. Sesame seeds. Saute on high heat for 1 minute. Look at that.
Let's make quick and easy orange chicken. If I can do it, you can do it. First, get some chicken thigh and add garlic powder, salt, white pepper, and 1 egg. Then add plain flour, cornstarch, baking soda, cooking oil, and organic water. Give them a Chinese massage and set aside. For the sauce, combine orange juice, chicken stock, light soy sauce, orange zest, sugar, garlic, ginger, rice and vinegar, cornstarch, and mix. Fry the chicken until golden brown and crispy and set aside. In a pan, stir fry the aromatics until fragrant. Add the sauce to the pan and cook the sauce until it has thickened. Add the chicken to the sauce and mix until everything is coated. Once it is done, serve with a bowl of rice, garnish, and enjoy.
These Chinese scallion pancakes are the one thing my husband is always requesting I make. Their crispy outside and flaky center with subtle scallion flavor makes them an easy favorite. So let's make some. Add 2 cups of all-purpose flour and half a teaspoon of salt to a bowl. You'll then mix in half a cup of boiling water until absorbed and shaggy, then mix in a 1/4 cup of cold water. Once the water has been absorbed, begin kneading with your hand to form a rough ball. When the ball starts to take shape, you can then knead it on the table for a few more minutes. Then cover the dough and let it rest for 20 minutes while we prep the filling. The white ends of the green onion will be used in the oil, and you'll cut the dark green part in half, and then into smaller half moons. Add a 1/4 cup of grapeseed oil to a pan and the ends of the green onion. Cook for about 10 minutes to impart the scallion flavor in the oil. Then remove the onions and add half a teaspoon of salt and half a cup of flour to create a paste. When the dough has finished resting, you can knead for a minute and then work into a log. You'll then cut this into 6 pieces, working with one ball at a time, and cover the others so they don't dry out. Roll the ball into a rectangle that's about 6 by 4 inches in size. You'll then add on some of that scallion oil paste, sprinkle on your green onions, and then from the bottom roll up 3 to 4 times, pushing out air bubbles as you go. You'll then roll from one side to the other like a snail. Use a little paste on the end to help connect the tail. Cover this while you work on the remaining dough balls. Once you have all 6, you'll then roll them into pancakes. This is what creates all those layers. To a pan with hot oil, lay in your pancake, give it a swirl so it doesn't stick, and then cover with a lid and cook for 1 minute. Then flip away from you and cover and cook for another minute. Then continue to flip and press until both sides are perfectly golden brown.
One thing I miss most from my parents' Chinese restaurant is their orange chicken. It was unlike anyone else's recipe, and I needed to recreate it because the cravings were unreal. But let me tell you, I was critiqued so hard on this recipe because my dad still has his taste bud memories since he's retired in 2017. Luckily for you, but not my ego, Papa T still remembers every single recipe from their restaurant because both my parents worked 7 days a week and 15-hour days for many, many years. Of course, I had to break down the recipe significantly because he would make batches of the sauce and batter in bulk. To give a really authentic orangey taste, Papa T would always use orange juice and orange concentrate. For the flaky and crispy batter, Papa T would use a mixture of cornstarch, all-purpose flour, and baking soda, and he says these ingredients are non-negotiable. He also double fries the chicken so that even though it's covered in sauce, the battered chicken still remains crispy. The full recipe is listed below. And it's safe to say that this recipe is approved by Papa T, but I took all the heat for it, so you're welcome.
Let's make chicken and broccoli. Cheers. Oh yeah, this is gonna keep you coming back for more. I'm a garlic girly, so I'm gonna use a ton of garlic. Finely mince it. Now let's prepare the broccoli. I just chop off each of the florets, and if they're too big like this, I'll break it down into smaller pieces, like this. I'm gonna rinse it off and never throw away the stem. This is my favorite part of broccoli, and I just cut them up into smaller pieces. Yum. Slice some chicken thigh into 1/4-inch pieces. Marinate the chicken with some oyster sauce, a little baking soda to tenderize, a little soy sauce, and white pepper. Give it a quick mix and set it to the side. We're gonna make it extra saucy with some low sodium chicken broth, soy sauce, oyster sauce, dark soy sauce. But if you don't have it, leave it out. Shaoxing wine, or you can always use mirin. Chicken bouillon, as always, sugar for balance. And lastly, some white pepper. Give it a mix and let's take it to the stove. Add oil to your wok. Add in half of your garlic, then the chicken, then saute until it's cooked through. Once the chicken is cooked through, set it aside. Add in a little more oil, the rest of the garlic, and then the broccoli. Add in the sauce, and then cover to steam. After a minute or two, uncover it. I like my broccoli to be very crunchy still, so cook it however you want it. Now add the chicken back in, mix your slurry, add it in, and stir it because it'll thicken right up. Can you see how saucy she is? All right, let's eat. Did somebody say meal prep? Let's make my dad's restaurant style chow mein. Cheers. Thinly sliced celery on a rice, and the same thing with the cabbage, and same thing for the onion. Mash the garlic, mince up the garlic really fine. I always like saving the ends of the green onions and replanting them. Cut these up into large chunks. Let's make the sauce. Oyster sauce, regular soy sauce, dark soy sauce for color, chicken bouillon, and sugar. Give it a good mix. I almost forgot to add a little white pepper. Now it's perfect. I know you're already gonna come for me in the comments about this, but they do add red food coloring and yellow food coloring to make the orangey noodles. So you just add it to the boiling water and it makes orange. These are the squared wheat noodles that we use at the restaurant, and we just boiled them in water. We always cook them a little less than the instructions say. In general, the reason why food coloring is used is just to make the food look more appetizing, just like your favorite candies. All right, it's all done. Pour it into a sheet pan, drizzle oil all over it, then use chopsticks to fluff them up. It's so steamy. In a wok, you want to add oil, noodles, toss them around a little bit, add garlic, move the noodles to the side, and then add in all of the vegetables. Cover the vegetables with noodles, and then add water. After a few minutes, add in all of the sauce, and then toss it really well. Once it's almost done cooking, you want to add in the bean sprouts and some green onions. Give it one last toss. And there you have it, restaurant-style chow mein.
Hey Dad, what's for dinner?
I made a Chinese-inspired pepper steak. Let me show you how I did it. Slice your steak into thin strips, then add it to a bowl. Marinate the beef with soy sauce, white pepper, avocado oil, baking soda, ground ginger, and cornstarch. Marinate for 20 minutes. This process is called velveting, and it makes the beef very tender. Next, slice your peppers and onions and mince your garlic. Add the beef to a hot wok or skillet and cook for 2 to 3 minutes per side. Remove the beef, and in that same skillet, saute the onions and peppers for about 5 minutes. For the sauce, mix together beef broth, hoisin sauce, Shaoxing wine, light and dark soy, brown sugar, black pepper, and cornstarch. Add minced garlic to the peppers and onions and saute until fragrant. Add the beef back to the pan, then pour in the sauce. Stir and let simmer for about 5 minutes until the sauce is thickened. Since all that flavor is in the sauce, pair this with white rice. Full recipe on cookingwithmrcooper.com. How that old commercial go? Beef, son, is what's for dinner.
Today I'm going to share with you how I make my family's favorite orange chicken. Alright guys, so we're going to begin by prepping our 2 pounds of chicken. Here I already have it cut into small sized pieces. To that we're going to add our 1 egg. Make sure to lightly beat it and just mix it with the chicken. I'm going to season it with 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Mix it. Okay, to that we're going to also add 3/4 of a cup of cornstarch and 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And just make sure that your chicken doesn't get stuck to each other. Okay, so once we have that, we're going to set it to the side so we can make our sauce. Okay, to make our sauce, we're going to combine 1 cup of freshly squeezed orange juice, 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, and sugar. The sugar will depend on how sweet you want your sauce. Now we can get ready to begin cooking. Okay, to our wok, we're going to add about 1 inch of oil. We're going to set it over medium-high heat and allow it to heat up. Okay, so once the oil is nice and hot, we're going to begin to fry our chicken. And I'm going to be doing this in batches and just allow it to fry for about 4 minutes or just until the chicken is nice and golden. Okay, and after 4 minutes, our chicken should be fully cooked. Of course, make sure that you check it and the internal temperature is at 165 degrees. So now we're just going to remove it from the oil. Okay, and repeat the process with the rest of the chicken. All right, so once we have fried all of our chicken, now we can get ready to make our sauce. So before that, I'm going to be making my slurry. So I'm just going to be mixing 1/4 of a cup of water with 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch. Just mix it and dissolve the cornstarch. Okay, so once we have that, we're going to set it to the side. Okay, to my wok, I'm going to be adding a little bit of oil, and it's already nice and hot. So to that, I'm going to be adding 4 minced garlic cloves and 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger. Going to give it about 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, we're going to be adding our sauce mixture. And to that, we're going to also add our slurry. Just mix it together and allow this to come to a simmer. Okay, and after about a minute, our sauce should have simmered and have thickened up. So here, I'm just going to reduce the heat to the lowest setting. And just like that, we have our sauce. So now we can get ready to toss in our chicken. And just mix it in with the sauce. Okay, and just like that, we have our super easy and delicious orange chicken. So now we can get ready to serve in a bed of white rice. And just like that, enjoy.
Quick and simple lo mein using my deluxe cookware wok pan. So first I started off by using some soy sauce, some adobo seasoning. I added some baking powder. I'm using sesame oil, for my meat. I just set it off until it was almost done. I removed it, then I added bell peppers, onions, and broccoli. After that, I put the meat back inside the pan, stir-fried it for a little bit, and then I came in with my noodles for the sauce, brown sugar soy sauce, some oyster sauce, a cup of water. I whisked it together, put it in the pan, and just sauteed it some more. And I just kept sauteing it. Y'all, this recipe was really good. Definitely try.
The best green beans ever. All you need is a bag of fresh green beans, hoisin sauce, sesame oil, crispy chili, and soy sauce. You're gonna take the green beans and we're gonna deep fry them. You're gonna leave them in there for about 2 or 3 minutes and take them out. And they're all done. You know they're perfect when they look like this. Done frying, I'm gonna put some sesame oil in a pan, the hoisin, the soy sauce, the crispy chili. You're gonna toss back in your green beans and just slightly toss them. They're all done. Tastes exactly like it would at a Chinese buffet. Let me show you how to make.
Chicken lo mein is super easy to make at home, so skip the takeout next time you're craving these noodles and save this recipe. Start by marinating chicken breast in soy sauce, white pepper, cornstarch, and oil. This helps to keep it tender. Then cook lo mein noodles according to package instructions. Drain and toss in sesame oil. For the sauce, mix together regular soy sauce, dark soy sauce, oyster sauce, sugar, and white pepper. Set that aside and cook the chicken. I'm using a wok, but you can also use a large pan. Then saute garlic, ginger, onion, and the white part of green onions until fragrant. Add carrots, snap a cabbage, or whatever veggies you like. Cook until the veggies are softened, then add in the noodles, the cooked chicken, and pour the sauce all over. Give it a good toss until everything is mixed together. Adjust it to your liking, finish it off with green onions, and enjoy.
Easy 10-minute egg fried rice with just 6 ingredients. Whenever I have leftover rice in the fridge, this is what I make, and it's so good. You can also add other ingredients to elevate it. It's also a great clean out the fridge meal made in one pan and feeds a family fast. On medium-high heat, add oil, beaten eggs, scramble them. Once they take shape, push them to the side. Add in cold day-old rice, break it up, toss with the eggs, sweep to the side, add more oil, toss in green onions, season with regular soy sauce, sesame oil. One last toss. Recipe at christyathome.com and enjoy.